Why I don't wake up at 5 a.m.
Don't want to be a girl boss. I don't want to hustle. I simply want to live my life slowly and lay down in a bed of moss with my lover and enjoy the rest of my existence, reading books, creating art, and loving myself and the people in my life. Bada boom, bada bing.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. If you are new here, my name is Marley and I upload every Sunday. I create content about music and being a musician and everything that fits under the lifestyle umbrella, whether that be cooking, self-care, traveling, everyday life, and everything in between. If that sounds like a bit of you, then please do hit the subscribe button, and also please do connect with me over on my other socials, be that on Instagram or TikTok. I will link those on the screen and in my description below. Now the shameless plugging is out of the way, because it really helps my channel to grow and I'm trying to make this a full-time thing. Let's move on to why I decide personally not to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. So off the bat, I am just gonna put it out there and say I'm not a morning person. So that is kind of like the main crux of why I don't wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. However, I will say that I do enjoy being up early enough in the morning that you can tackle a lot of the tasks that you really do need to get done in the morning, because I do feel productive in those hours. But let's say I set my alarm for, realistically, I'm gonna be really honest, 8 a.m. because for me that is quite realistic. I am a being who really likes to try and get their 8 hours. I realized about a year ago that that is when I thrive, when I have 7.5 to 8 hours sleep, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I know that that is, oh, the sun is very much shining on my face right now. Hello. Now, I've heard over the years that you are supposed to get in between, is it 7 and 9 hours? Please don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard for many, many years, so that's what I'm going with. And I definitely prefer to have about 8 hours sleep over anything else. Anything more, I can feel a little bit groggy. Anything less, I'm probably not gonna feel well rested. So I would set my alarm for around 8 a.m. I will try my best to get up and do some yoga, do some stretching, have a shower straight away because that tends to help wake me up, get myself ready and either get straight into my office, get straight into the studio, maybe go straight to the gym because that also really helps to kickstart my day. And then I will come back and tackle all my things like emails, invoices, just things that I need to do admin wise. And then I'll probably move on to my more creative things because there's less of maybe like a timeline or a deadline with things like that. Again, let me just say that that is not always what happens. And I think even I have become guilty to thinking that my life and my timeline must look a certain way. And I do think to some extent having structure, well, no, I'm absolutely lying. I think structure is really, really good. And our human brains just absolutely kick our asses and constantly find ways to tell us and the rest of our bodies that we don't really need to do that, or do we need to do that right now? Can this wait until later? Maybe we can do it tomorrow. My brain is the worst for that. Like, it will start to do that like weeks in advance when I know I need to get something done, and it's really frustrating. And because of that, I really wanted to sit down and question, strip back, what does my timeline really look like, and what would I be happy with doing in a day whilst also getting the stuff done that I need to get done. I'm a really strong believer that not everyone needs to have the same routine. And for me personally, I really feel like social media has taken a bit of a turn for the worst in the terms of thinking that everyone must wake up at 5 a.m, must have a really large nourishing breakfast and do 50 million things in a day, and I just personally don't feel like that resonates with me. Again, just want to preface by saying this is just my personal opinion and how I found that my routine works best, and I just wanted to share that because I came across the TikTok that I played at the beginning of the video, I want to say maybe even like 7 or 8 months ago, and it felt like it almost imprinted on my soul, and I was like, oh my god, someone that understands how I feel. And I felt seen and I felt heard, and it made me just like settle a little bit more, and it made me feel like I could breathe because I was trying to keep up with the doing a 9-to-5 job and then coming home and then feeling like a failure if I didn't also work on my craft or my passions. I also just want to say I am absolutely not bashing the people that do wake up at 5 a.m. I kind of envy them, to be totally honest with you. I wish I could do it. I just feel like we should experiment and question these things, figure out what fits in with your routine. I also saw something the other day where this girl, she tried waking up at different times in the morning, and she said that 7 a.m. seemed to sit really well with her and her circadian rhythm. If you don't know what the circadian rhythm is, I would recommend going and Googling it. It's very interesting and something that I do try to refer to. But again, these things can be easily forgotten, but it's just about figuring out what works best for you. I do, however, feel like it's become quite maybe fashionable to wake up super early, and it makes people feel less than if they don't do that. Again, I'm not bashing anyone that does it. However, there are people like myself who will see that and feel like a failure already because you haven't woken up 3 hours earlier than everyone else and got loads of stuff done. Because if I tried to wake up at 5 a.m, baby, I would be in my bed again at 7 a.m. trying to catch up on those 3 hours, and then that would just be unproductive in itself. I do also feel that maybe my opinion is formed because I am freelance. My job includes working very late nights, and it makes it difficult for me to have routine because every single, not even just the weekend, it can be the weekdays as well, are so different. If I had it my way, I would go to bed every night around 9:30, 10 p.m. and I would wake up at around 7 a.m. However, there are nights where I could get back, say, at about 10:30. There are nights where I could get back at 2:45. So it really just does depend. So again, I think whether questioning whether that is the right approach for you, maybe you could try and figure something out that just feels like it fits in with your schedule a little bit more. For me, I kind of have to just go day by day, which is a little frustrating, like I said. However, it's just the way that life is for me right now, and I feel comfortable with the way it is right now. However, I feel like it's going to be an ongoing change that I'm just going to have to keep adjusting along the way. I just wanted to include this little section here just to kind of show what my weekly schedule can sometimes look like. This week I have been gigging from Tuesday to Saturday. I'm literally filming this, I'm saying this voice note the day before this video goes up, and you're seeing clips from this week. So from Tuesday I've gigged every single day, and I've got back at different times every night. Now there are some clips that show what time I get home, and some of them have been kind of like 1:30 or 2, or I had a clip last night where I finished at like 11:15, but I didn't actually get home until about midnight. Now I know that doesn't all sound late, but when you think that I have obviously been at the gig from like 5 p.m. or sometimes earlier, like 4, 3:30. It's currently 9:30, but I'm ready for bed. It's a really long time to have been out of the house, and I just kind of wanted to show that this is the reason why I don't wake up at 5 a.m. is because my schedule is so all over the place. And I know that this is not the case for everyone. Some people have routine, and that's really great, and I would love to be able to get up at the same time every day, but unfortunately my work schedule just doesn't allow for this, unfortunately. But it's the life I've chosen, and I love it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I feel like there are going to be pros and cons for waking up early, for not waking up early, for hustle culture, for slow living, you know? So at the end of the day, again, it's just about finding the rhythm that works best for you. For me, I definitely do lean towards the more slow living, and I really don't think that slow living has to be simple or mundane. It just strives to be uncomplicated and not overwhelming, and to me, that sounds like the way that I would prefer to live. All of this is just to say, please don't feel like you have to do what others are doing. I fell into the thought process of thinking that, well, if I want to be successful in all aspects of my life, I must be doing what this person says. And I'm not telling you not to do it also. I just feel like you should experiment, figure out what feels good for you, because at the end of the day, we have the opportunity to create the life that we would quite like to live. I certainly want to find the things that work best for me and what make me thrive every single day and I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to keep trying until I get there. I also really wanted to open up this conversation as well and see if anyone who happens to come across this video, if you guys have any tips for kind of like executing your mornings, or how you also execute your afternoons, because I struggle. If it goes past midday, I find it very, very hard to get started being productive. I'm going to be really honest right now. What time is it? It is 4:52 and I had to be up early this morning to take this one to the vets. I then had to go to Reform Radio to pre-record my show. I then got really, really tired. This is something that I think may be an actual kind of physical issue of mine, something that I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna go to the doctors and get some blood tests done because I don't feel normal. And I came home and I had to sleep for a little bit because I just could not get going, and I found myself being really, really hard on myself and not being able to get going sooner. But it just is what it is, and I'm here, I've showed up. I've ended up changing some plans tonight because I just think I need to focus on myself. So if you guys have any tips and tricks for navigating your way through this very, very strange and wonderful life, then please do open up the conversation below. Maybe chat to some people. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to chat with you and see if there's anything. Oh, sorry, you balanced on my sofa right now, so Hendrix just jumped on there, just to see if there's anything new that we can learn from one another. But thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. As I mentioned very briefly at the beginning of this video, I am trying to spread my wings. I'm trying to open up myself so that I can be more available on social media. This is something that I see myself doing for a very long time, and I would just really like to ask for your support on that, whether that be one of the above, which is liking this video or any of my other videos, subscribing to my channel, sharing my video on any of your social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and or also following me on any of those social media platforms as well. It would also be a massive support to me if you supported my music, whether that be buying or streaming my music, which I will have linked in my description below. You can buy my music, some physical music as well if you're into vinyl. You can buy some of my music on my Bandcamp, and you can also stream my music across any musical platform of your choice. Everything really, really helps, and there's part of me that really hates doing this, but in the same breath, it's necessary. So I hope that what I have said today resonates with you. I hope my content in general resonates with you. And if it does, then hopefully I'll see you guys back here next week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye.